Welcome back to the Two Merry Widows and a Thrice Divorcee. We are here today with me, Laura, Bridge, and Judy, best buds. Okay, I think our subject today will be something along the lines of how we live with anxiety after the loss of our loved ones. I think the person that should go first is Judy. What do you think?
Oh, anxiety. Whew. Well, how did I deal with my anxiety? I joined a kickboxing club. Yeah, a gym, a kickboxing
That's a very
gym.
healthy way of dealing with anxiety.
Well, it only took me a month to make the decision to do it, but I was really struggling to cope with the loss because it was very unexpected. And so I went and joined a kickboxing club, gym, and I took my anxiety, my aggression, my anger, all of my emotions out on the bag. And I went 17 days straight, and then I got hooked.
I was going to say you went for longer than 17 days.
No, that was the first month, the very first session I did. I lasted 45 minutes, and I honestly thought I was going to die. I was like in the locker room thinking they're going to have to call 911 and they're going to have to take me out of here on a stretcher, and I'm going to be so embarrassed because I'm so out of shape and I'm so unhealthy. And then I made a commitment and I went 17 days straight. I was hooked, and then I was going all the time. I was doing 2 a days. I was going at least 5 days a week.
Are you keeping it up now?
No, I injured my shoulder, and anything I had to do, any stroke I had to do with my right side, I couldn't do it anymore. I couldn't do push-ups. I couldn't do anything. So I stopped going, but I did it for almost 2 years. For 2 years, I did it.
Wow. I thought it was a fair amount of time that you were going.
And it was probably one of the healthiest. It was, I couldn't get into therapy. I called several places and nobody was calling me back. I'm like,
I had that problem.
Unless you're going to say you're suicidal, what do you do? You know, and I didn't think I was suicidal. I knew I wasn't suicidal, but I was very heavily depressed. So I went to my primary doctor, and he put me on anxiety medication. And he told me to keep up going to the gym because whatever I was doing was working, especially because I had some other health issues going on, and I was starting to see positive results towards those other health issues. And man, I'm telling you, it was better than therapy.
Cathartic.
It was very
cathartic.
Yes,
punch in that bag.
It was. And then I met some wonderful people, and we now have we call it the I Love Kickboxing Ladies, and we will get together usually once every couple months, and we'll have a wino Wednesday.
I love it.
Or something like that. We'll go meet at a happy hour and have dinner, or go have dinner with each other. And it's really nice.
That's really awesome.
You know, so that was like my family, because that was my home away from home. I mean, I was going any opportunity I got, I went, and it really helped. And then I'm not going to lie, the antidepressants help too.
That's a very healthy, productive way, though, to deal with anxiety, going to the gym.
Yeah, and I was always afraid of going on antidepressants because, you know, there's always a stigma with it, especially back in the day, you know, you're on Prozac, you're crazy type thing. And then, you know, there's always the side effect of weight gain and all the other negative effects of it. But I have had none of the negative effects of it. And I even asked my doctor if I could stay on it a little bit longer. And he's like, oh, you can stay on this stuff for as long as you want. There's really, the side effects are very, very, the long-term side effects aren't there. There's nothing that's bad that could, at least that's what he told me. We'll see.
How do you deal with your anxiety, Laura?
Well, in the beginning, just do everything until it was done. But I think what I did, because I also have my son Max to think about, was I turned Al's man cave, literally ripped out everything. Sofas, 80s stereo equipment. I mean, pulled it all out. I even called 1-800-GOT-JUNK. Yeah. Can I say that on here? Or, you know,
this is not an advertisement.
But they were fabulous because there's no way I could have hauled all of that.
So what'd you do with all the stereo equipment? You just let them take it?
No, I actually took that to the dump myself because it was, nowadays with Bluetooth and, the advanced, forget it. It just made so much more sense.
There are some junkies out there, I think, who like that kind of stuff.
I don't. Fine, I get that.
And if you have to get rid of it, you got to get rid of it.
Yes, when I got rid of it, I felt like
yeah.
So we gutted out the basement and I turned it into a gym for Max so that he could have a place if he couldn't get to the gym because I couldn't drive him at the time. He had at least a bag to beat on.
Right.
So we did that for anxiety. It took me a while to find a therapist that I liked. I had to, poor fella, he sounded like he was very young. And I wanted to talk about adult relationships. I'm like, I can't do this with you, sir. And he completely understood because they understand that the relationship needs to be there in order for, full, recovery.
Right.
So I finally found somebody that I chimed with and
online, or this was in person.
Actually, I was able to take my first session with her in person.
Okay.
And then we realized that, hey, we could do this online. It's no big deal. And piece of cake, really. So those are some of the things that I did. I did get into, it took me a while though. I was in a funk for maybe about 6 months, like a real funk. I couldn't do anything. I drank, I ate everything, because food was my little warm blanket, my security blanket. And it just spiraled out of control. And I was like, I need some focus. And so I joined a program and it did help me lose the weight. I started in August. And by January, I was to the weight that I wanted to be. And I've pretty much maintained it since then. But I realized what a huge factor it is to get me feeling better. Not only physically, but mentally, and having a reason and how to follow a diet and how to, do things right. And then when I was working out, I felt better. And it's like, I really wanted to hate it. I wanted to hate working out and be like, it's not for me. But no, I had to be real with myself. I go, I feel pretty good right now,
It's a love-hate relationship.
Yes.
You love to hate it. You hate to love it.
Yeah.
But once you get into it, it's pretty amazing.
See, I love walking. I love walking and biking. I can't run. I don't have the knees for it or the breath.
I've decided my running days are way past.
You did used to run.
Yeah, when I left husband number 2, running was my therapy, and painting and art and crafting was my therapy when I left my second husband. And I had a little run group. I had a group of girls that I would meet at 5:30 in the morning and go running. And but I just can't do that anymore. My legs, my knees can't handle it. My feet couldn't handle it. I had to have that surgery because I had ruptured my plantar plate on the tendon on my foot, and then the tendon in my ankle from, rolling my ankle from wearing my platform
sexy hot shoes,
my sexy shoes on cobblestone streets of Annapolis.
Cobblestones of Annapolis, yeah. Not a match. Sexy shoes and cobblestones, not a good match.
Yeah, so that sidelined me for a while too, and it takes a while to get back into the groove of exercising. So that's why going back for me was important. But it did take me a while to get in there. But once I committed, I was full on. And I loved it. But then the gym's not the same. They had a lot of turnover, and it didn't have the same meaning anymore. So I do have another gym membership. I just haven't really gotten back into it yet.
It took me a while to understand that I was not a gym membership type of person. I have one just in case Max was like, hey, let's go together. I'd be like, okay, no problem. But it's such a low fee that I'm happy to help at a local gym because the fee is so like low. Like, I kid you not, $20. $20. Anyway, he loves it. He drives there all the time by himself or with his friends, and so it's like a second hangout. So I'm really glad that worked out for him. Yeah. But let's just talk about, and of course, I want to take this to you, Bridge, the anxiety question, but also the idea of just finding the flow again. Your flow has been so messed up that just finding your day to day is a whole new adventure. But anyway, Bridge, what do you think? How do you overcome your anxiety?
Well, I think I'm being very quiet because I'm not at that point at all, I don't think. Judy knows. I mean, I have anxieties over everything. I worry about everything. I ruminate on everything. And generally, I don't have a solution for them. Sometimes Judy comes over and solves it for me. Like when things are falling apart in my house and I really need help. I have social anxiety. I just don't want to go anywhere. I just feel like, I don't know. I just feel like the awkward girl in the room or something, which is not a phobia that I used to have. Mm-mm. So I guess I'm not really dealing with it very well. I like to stay home.
But you are in therapy.
I am in therapy. I did find a therapist online. We meet over Zoom. And I think I was really fortunate because she was the first person that I matched up with on this online therapy. And we just clicked. And I really love her. And I've probably been doing the online therapy with her it's been over a year now. It's probably closer to a year and a half.
It's a blessing.
Yeah. And well, I have had others, not with this particular online site and not for this particular issue. I don't know why I was in therapy this time, the previous time, and it was in person and we just didn't click at all. So I just stopped. And then, months and months or years, my timeline's all forgotten. I don't remember. I hooked up with this person online, one of these online therapy sites over Zoom, and we just clicked. So that's been good. That's actually really been good. And I look forward to our therapy sessions because I just open up my laptop and then we talk. And so that's pretty cool. And she's helped me with some major things that I needed to overcome that I just couldn't do on my own. And other than that, I just struggle. I'm still struggling with anxiety.
I don't think anxiety ever goes away. I think it's how you manage it and cope with it, and what mechanisms you have in place to deal with it. Like us, maybe you hitting your bicycle, or you taking a walk, you scheduling an emergency meeting with your therapist, or you sending me a meme that says, "Thank God, thank you for the free therapy sessions."
That is true.
Yeah.
I do unload on my bestie all the time.
But those are all coping mechanisms. Because I don't think, because there's always going to be stressors and there's always going to be anxiety. And for you guys, it could be a simple moment of coming across a photo of something.
So
and it's
what I had
put
real anxiety about for a long time right after my husband passed was going to the grocery store. I could not go to the grocery store. If I went, there was one particular time I abandoned my cart and left because I was having such an anxiety attack. I couldn't breathe. I was sweating. I leaned over my cart to hold me up, and I was just, taking these really short breaths. And I was like, I think I'm having a panic attack here in the middle of the damn Giant.
How long ago was that?
It's probably been a year.
Because I think you called me then. I think you called me when you got in your car, or you called me after.
And I just
afterwards.
and I don't know why, but I had a very hard time for a very long while because I would go through the grocery store and I would put my hands on things, or I would look at things that were on sale and try to and think about buying them and putting them in my cart, stuff that only my husband would eat, like canned chili. I'm not eating that. But he would. He liked it. So I would buy that for him. And if I saw it on sale, I'd be like, oh, let me get some of that. Wait, I don't need to buy that. What am I, I'm not going to buy that anymore. There's no one at home to eat it. So the grocery store was hard for me. And I was very regimented in my grocery schedule. I went every Sunday morning, for the most part, figured out what we were going to eat for the week, what I was going to cook. And I would go every Sunday morning and go to the grocery store. And after he passed, it took a very long, it's been almost 2.5 years, a little over 2 years. Now I don't feel those anxieties when I'm in the store. I still think about them sometimes when the damn canned chili's on sale, but I don't have the anxiety of, oh my God, I'm about to pick that up. No, wait, don't pick that up.
I have a similar story. Shortly after he passed, I kid you not, within a week, I had to go grocery shopping, whether I liked it or not. Ugh. And I went to a supermarket and I saw the very thing that was his favorite. It was a crab pretzel. And I just stood there and my face swelled up. My eyes started to water. And I'm like, I am standing in the middle of a grocery store having a moment and I'm alone.
A meltdown over a pretzel. Yeah.
A crab
pretzel. They're delicious.
Pretzel. But yes.
But yeah, I remember that. And every single time I go there, they always have those damn pretzels out. I'm now not swelling up and having a moment, but still you're just like, that was his favorite.
Right. It still comes to mind. Same thing. Like I can walk by the canned chili now and whatever else. He ate a lot of things that I wouldn't eat and I can walk by them and just be like, oh, that was MK's favorite and continue my shopping. Whereas 2 years ago, I would have meltdowns, complete meltdowns in the store to the point where I have left the store before. Abandoned my cart. Gotta go. Gotta get out of here.
I get it. I totally get it.
I was going to say, so I don't know if that's dealing with anxiety or handling anxiety but those are some of the anxious moments that I've had.
But in that you have grown since then. Listen to yourself. You just said that you had a hard time in the beginning and now you're able to walk past.
Right.
So that's a step.
It's one of those things where, it really is just time and people hate to hear that. And it's not time, time heals all wounds. I don't believe that, but I think time helps you learn to just deal with the wound. You're able, it gets softened a little. It's not, it's not as hard inside where you're just like, I can't function. It's still there. You think about it, but you just continue to live your life. Time will help you continue on because you have to continue on.
You have to.
You have to. I eventually had to go to this grocery store. I was eating junk food all the time.
There's only so much Uber can deliver.
There's only so much.
There's only so much delivery you could have.
Exactly.
That's why I don't go to the grocery store. I let the grocery store shop for me, and I just go pick my groceries up.
Yeah, I think I'm going to start doing that because I don't know about you, but my sister just told me this week, Laura, you have some lofty goals.
Lofty.
I think we've told you that before too. Yes.
And again, it comes back to me doing too much where I'm trying to skirt the issues. And this week, my therapist actually said something to me where it kind of stopped me in my tracks. She's like, are you mad at me? Are you upset? I'm like, no, I just don't know how to respond.
Your therapist asked you if you were mad at your therapist.
It was more like, does that upset you?
Yeah.
Right. That kind of thing. I was like, no, I just don't know how to respond. And, it's their job to smack you in the face every once in a while.
Yeah, that's why I should be a therapist.
It is.
Hey, man, my mom always said I was in the wrong profession. She said,
to tell.
She always told me I had a very that I could really read people well, and I had good instincts when it came to people.
She wanted you to be a fortune teller?
No, she just thought I understood people. And she's like, you should have been a therapist, although I certainly am not a matchmaker.
Well, you are a bartender, correct?
I do bartend with one of the catering companies that I work for. Yes.
Okay. Well, that was a superpower of Al's, my husband. He really could read a room. He could always, man, it was just sick. It was just off the charts weird how, I swear, he must have been psychic on some level, because he could just, I don't know what, work a room. Mm-hmm. He'd get them all fired up. He would flare his bottles, and then, he would just take care of business, and he would just know who to talk to, who not to talk to. And he could always seem to understand people on their own level. Like, for instance, I know this sounds silly, but he was so eclectic when he loved his music. His music, so eclectic. Every song he knew the words to, and he would talk to anybody at the bar and just like rap it out or just sing along. And, he just, wow, it was amazing to see.
Wow.
See that. But bartenders have an amazing ability, if they're good, to handle their shift, handle it well, and to make sure that the bar is never out of control, because there's some people out there who like to cause a ruckus. Yeah. But he would handle business and do it well, and people enjoyed him very much, and I miss that. Yeah, I really do.
Second husband was a bartender part-time.
Okay.
That was kind of how we met, but I don't know that he wasn't like
I bartended when I was younger.
Did you?
I did for several years. And I was a good bartender. And they would come back to see me because of my linguistic skill.
Oh, wow.
I mean, I was good at talking to people.
Yeah.
And, I really was.
And that's why we got to socialize you more.
I know. I feel like
I could tell you have anxiety and like I don't like really big crowds anymore.
I hate crowds.
And I'm just like
post-COVID, yes, correct.
Post-COVID, yeah.
Mine has nothing to do with COVID. Mine is just people. It's a social anxiety. I don't want to be anywhere where I feel too crowded.
Well, I think my crowdedness started before COVID, but then after COVID, it was from being so isolated for so long. I'm like, I really don't know if I like people.
Oh, I know I don't.
And then I'm like, but I miss people. And then I have my peeps that I do hang out with. But but I know when I'm out with you, you tend to get a little antsy sometimes when you're in a crowd.
I do.
If you're in a crowd.
I do.
I can tell you start to get uncomfortable.
I do.
And I can tell when you're ready to go.
I do.
That's a gift.
Knowing when we're ready, knowing when I'm ready. It's true. But, and I didn't used to be like that.
Well, is it do you think yes, because of circumstances, but do you think now at our age that we're just tired of the bleep?
Well, it could be that too, because I don't necessarily know. So for me, the hanging out where there's crowds and, you sent me that poster about someone was having a Halloween party on Saturday, and I was immediately like, I am not interested.
Oh,
because I knew there was going to be a crowd, and it was.
Whereas, because I was wanted you to go with me last night.
Going to get rowdy, and I'm like, I just can't do it. But I don't necessarily think that happened because of Mike's death. I think that was just me getting older, and one of the things with that is I liked the fact that I was now married and settled down because I really didn't have to go out.
Right.
To the crowded places. I mean, I don't have to if I don't want to, but it's different when you're married. Yeah. It's just like, well, I can sit even if you go to a crowded place with your husband, I can sit in this corner with my husband, or my husband can go run off and I can sit in the corner.
Right.
And, just watch, and that's fine. But it's different when you're single. I feel like, I don't know, it's a different vibe.
Well, one of the things that my second husband and I did do is we went out and we partied a lot. We went out drinking and hanging out in bars, and he loved to karaoke. I loved to listen to him sing. So we did a lot of that kind of social interaction. And then when we moved out, when we bought our own house, and we didn't have that extra cash flow to be able to do that, because now we had to be grown-ups and we had to pay our bills. I think there came a resentment in that from on his side, because I was no longer fun. Because
that kind of happened with the third husband too, didn't
that's
it?
That's what I'm saying. My third husband.
Oh, you said second.
Did I say second? I meant my third.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
Second.
Sorry about
Third.
that. This was the third husband, not the second husband. I've
keep
had so many, I can't keep track. Blooper. No, yeah, my third husband. Yes, no, my second husband and I. No, third husband, and
Third husband.
I think that was what caused that he drifted apart. We drifted apart because he never wanted to give up that lifestyle. And he's not capable of giving up that. Well, he wasn't when he was with me capable of giving up that lifestyle, nor did he want to give up that lifestyle. And he made that abundantly clear through his actions that he was not going to give up that lifestyle, and started going back to places that we used to go together without me. And, it was hurtful, and, and he was, sneaking the alcohol in the house and hiding it from me and spending more time. Like we had a camper. The idea of the camper was so we could travel. Well, he sat out in the camper every night and drank and smoked. And he'd come in at 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, don't come in the house and wake me up. Because you come in the house, and then he turns around and gets up at 5:30 in the morning to go to work. I'm like,
that would upset me too.
If you want to stay out in the camper and drink till you pass out, then do that. But don't wake up and then come in the room and then be angry because I'm asleep with the dogs in the bed or something stupid,
Right.
It's just,
you guys really had a lifestyle shift.
Yes.
Where you shifted
right
for reasons.
I shifted for reasons, and he didn't feel that
want to.
Right. And he felt that just because I had to shift for reasons, that it shouldn't affect his lifestyle. And what he failed to realize, that it was our lifestyle. It was
Yeah, where's the team?
Where's the team in it? Where's in sickness and in health, richer or poorer, where were those vows, that we were gonna be each other's ride or die, well, the ride got hard, you got off,
right,
is really what happened.
Right.
Which is fine. I mean, I look back now and I'm better off, but, and now I have that.
And he made it seem like you were doing something wrong.
Right. When
you were not doing anything wrong.
Right.
I mean, there were valid reasons why your life and lifestyle changed, and none of them were anything that's out of the ordinary for a lot of couples.
Right.
But he was just like, I don't care.
Right.
I'm going to still drink and smoke with or without you, and then
I'm gonna hang out. I'm gonna hang out with my single friends.
Yeah,
go out in the middle of the night on their boat, and
very unsupportive. He was very unsupportive of you.
I mean, he would literally drop me off at my doctor's appointments if I had to go in, and then call me when you're ready to be picked up, type thing.
Right. I mean, instead of going with you.
Right. Instead of going with me, there was a couple of times where I had to drive myself to the emergency room, and he was like, "Let me know if they admit you," type thing, and that was not fun.
No, not at all.
That is not fun. And, and then comes along, that brought on. So I probably had more anxiety during my marriage or towards the end of my marriage. And when he first left, than I do now. Like now I feel like I have probably the normal amount of anxiety.
Right. I don't really feel like you suffer from a real anxiety issue. No. Everyone has the nervousness and the
stressors and stuff like that. And I think my actual anxiety walked out on me. And I really have to thank him for that, because he made a decision that I couldn't make.
Yeah.
Especially after being twice divorced. was not about to do it again. But he did it. He chose for me, and that's fine. But
so your anxiety actually was better
my anxiety
after he left.
Yeah.
After the loss after your husband.
After the recovery
after
of the loss.
After you recovered. That is true.
Because it did take me a good 6 months to recover from that loss.
Yeah.
But I think we're all healing and getting better. And that's why we're all together. That's what brought us all together. It's so exciting.
Learning how to deal with anxiety. It's an everyday occurrence. It's not like, oh, just on the weekends. No, it's every single day. I have to be cognizant of my mood and how to be the better person. Because honestly, down in my deep, dark crevices, I really want to be the better person. Mm-hmm. And I really want to move forward in just better. I just want to move forward better. And how do I do that? And anxiety just seems to take that chunk of being better sometimes.
Yeah, it does.
Does that even make sense?
Yes. It does make sense because it will take over your mind and your thought processes, and I find I get stuck. Mm-hmm. You guys, I think you guys...
You get stuck like that hamster on that wheel.
I do. I think you guys like doing the DIY projects and stuff. I'm so jealous, but I can do stuff like that when I feel better. When I don't feel good, I don't want to do anything. I get stuck. I sit. I watch TV.
Right.
And people don't understand that, most people, not my good friends, that's coming from a place of anxiety and overwhelmingness. Is that a word? Mm-hmm. Because when I feel good, when I wake up and I have a good day, I get a lot accomplished. Mm-hmm. But when I'm having those overwhelming feelings of sadness, anxiety, depression, I can't do anything. And I don't know.
That's why I say, come on, Bridge, let's go in Sundance and go for a ride.
Yeah, and I have some good friends.
Sundance is the Jeep, y'all.
And they try to pull me out of it, which is a good thing. But I get stuck in my own mind, ruminating, anxious, and then I get stuck physically, ruminating, anxious.
Have you thought of I don't know, just writing a list? I know this sounds
I've done lists.
But the list of, this is what I'm going to do when I get out of my funk.
Yeah.
You know?
I have lots of lists. Yeah. Some with things checked off and some without. Like sending that text message.
Oh, yeah. Are we ready to do that?
It's getting close.
Uh-oh.
I think so.
Is there an inside joke here?
Well, it's not really a joke. Oh. I have a text message that I need to send to my husband's brothers, and for some reason I'm paralyzed. It's not even that big of a deal, but I'm paralyzed, and I've been ruminating on it literally since June, that I need to let them know that they need to come get this stuff. That. Okay, yes, so literally it's been since June. We're almost in November. I just can't bring my fingers to do it.
So that's why Judy offered hers.
So Judy's going to send it for me. She's going to take my phone. She's going to type my words, and we're going to send it because I'm stuck. And that happens to me with a lot of things. I just get paralyzed. And I don't know, is that anxiety?
It's got to be, because I know you had I had no anxiety over getting my
and it's on one of my lists.
What, to get rid of your anxiety?
No, to send that text.
Oh, yes.
And I've checked off all these other things around it, but I just can't do it.
That's not what I was meaning, though.
I know.
Like the things that you love, make a list, and then when you're ready to get to them, that you won't forget. Because I have done that. I'll be like, hey, I think I'm in the right mood. What do I want to do? So, I don't know. I just want you to feel better, Bridge.
Yeah.
I'm trying. Am I getting there?
You are. You have made huge strides, because the first the first year was really difficult. I know, because I was there for a lot of it, and cleaning out his storage bin was a huge step for you. And you even did a little yard sale thing with some of the stuff, and that was a
very small amount, but yes, I did.
But I was there. We cleaned out his locker.
But I wouldn't have been able to do it on my own. But I guess that's irrelevant. I mean, the fact that it got done with the help of my
and regardless of how or who helped you, it got done.
Yeah.
And if it takes a village.
Yeah.
It does. In everything you do, it takes a village. Sometimes you can't. There's some things that you probably need to do on your own, but then there's things that you just can't do on your own.
Yeah.
You need the motivation of others. Like, you need the support of others. Getting rid of Al's stuff. You called and got stuff out. I guarantee you, my stuff.
You got rid of all of his stuff.
I had that stuff pulled out of the shed and in the driveway. And
she did.
I didn't care if it got rain or shine.
I'm going to end this podcast on a very positive note.
Yes.
And I know that we're dating these episodes. Probably we shouldn't. But anyway, Halloween is Tuesday. Okay. I am celebrating my 1 year of my last surgery of having breast cancer.
Yay!
And
on Halloween?
It was on Halloween.
Oh, wow. I'm not sure I remember that.
Yeah.
But wow.
Well, apparently the first surgery a week prior, they did not clear margins, if you understand what that means.
Yes.
It means the cancer didn't clear the...
They didn't take enough tissue to make sure it wasn't infecting any other tissue. Right. I do recall that.
A week later, they said, we have one opening and it's on Halloween. It's like, I don't care. Let's just do this. And the only thing I wanted so bad was to hand out a piece of candy to one of the kids. And thank God at like 8:30 p.m., one last knocker came on. And I'm walking up there with a handful of candy and all the tubes are hanging from my ribs. And
they thought you were the scariest mummy ever.
I didn't care.
Our very own Frankenstein.
I got to hand out that piece of candy. I was going to end this day on a positive note, and I did. So,
yes, that's
yay me.
And here we are a year later. We're getting ready to have like a good Halloween night. We have plans. We've got Jell-O shots in the works. I mean, it's going to be a good night. It's going
to be a good night.
Does anyone have a fire pit that they can carry? Portable, it's going to be.
We wish we had, you know what, you could, I have to look because they have some of them that are like single use ones.
Well, so anyway, in contrast from last year where Laura was having a surgery, this year we're having a party, a very small
I am
party.
Looking forward to it.
Small but mighty.
Small but mighty.
Thank you for coming.
Yeah.
It's going to be fun.
Looking forward to it.
All right. Well, that concludes our episode 2 of Two Merry Widows and a Thrice Divorcee. Thank you for joining us, and we will see you next time.
Thank you. Bye.